Welcome to another edition of the Stack Supplement Podcast, where we run down all the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days, and we definitely have a lot to catch up on. We'll say nothing too huge at the end of the year. Typically brands don't drop, I guess, monumental products around this time, but nonetheless we've got a lot of new supplements rolling out, new flavors, and of course the annual Protein Wars competition is at the grand final stage this coming week. After an intense battle, we had Rise taking on GNC's Swidewalk, and then in the other round we had MuscleTech's Nitrotech battling it out with past champion Ghost Way. Of those four of the two groups, the products that made it through is MuscleTech's long-running legacy protein powder Nitrotech and Rise's loaded protein. So it is indeed a rerun of last year's grand final. We had these same two supplements going head to head. It was a pretty intense battle last year. I don't imagine it being any different this year. It's almost like a old school versus new school type thing. You've got MuscleTech that's been around for decades, and then you've got Rise, which I don't think has been around for a single decade. And kudos to both. Damn good protein powders, reliable, widely available, great tasting, and you can get your votes in now at proteinwars.com. And also a big shout out to the sponsor for the title sponsor for the contest this year. Is same as last year with Nutrition 21's Velocitol, to double the power of your protein, is their very well created tagline for that one. So yeah, we're going to jump straight from that into the news, catching up on all the stories we had last week, or at least the most popular ones, and we're going to kick it off with a bit of information from, actually I'll start off with, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out which one to run. I'll do with Iron Brothers first. So Iron Brothers supplements out of Canada. They've been around for quite some time, known for a lot of different supplements. They compete in all of the major categories. I got weight loss, pre-workout. They got stim-free pre-workout, if I'm not mistaken. They got a substantial amount of competitors, and one category they've been missing from since since they began, I guess, is protein powder. But that is about to change. The team at Iron Brothers has announced pretty much a straightforwardly named supplement, Iron Brothers Protein. It is indeed going to be a whey-based protein powder. We don't know too much about when it's going to be available. I think it's dropping within the coming week, so no specific date. But we got details on the formula. It is going to give you 24 grams of protein per serving. And then you've got 3 grams of carbohydrates, 2 grams of that sugar, 1.5 fat, and 130 calories. So it is very straightforward, very typical, very traditional, as I like to say, whey-based protein powder, and a good addition. Anytime a brand can add something as much of a commodity as protein powder is kind of a big win. I personally like to buy all my supplements from a single brand, or if I'm going to get my favorites from a variety of brands, I'll go to a retailer. But a lot of people do obviously enjoy getting from the single brands, and when you can add something that they might not necessarily go to you to get, maybe Iron Brothers Pre, maybe Iron Brothers Amino, whatever you get from the same place, but you need a protein powder, so you go somewhere else. Iron Brothers throwing this in really balances out the line, makes it more complete, as I like to call it, makes it more one-stop shop, so you can buy your whole stack for the month there rather than going half here, half there, and so on. So yeah, you can check out more details on that on the website. We'll be sharing when it becomes available, and it will be available first through Iron Brothers website, I believe. And all of the supplements are pretty well priced, so I don't suspect this being any different. Next up, we're going to jump over to the energy drink world, which saw quite a substantial amount of news rolled out. Firstly, Chris Bumstead's Bum Energy. They had their second new flavor announced, which is their 4th in total. It debuted in 2 flavors with citrus. I'm thinking, no, sorry, I'm getting these confused. Orange Sunrise and Cherry Frost were their first new flavors, and then that was quickly followed by a flavor called Citrus Burst, and now they've announced flavor number 4, which is a little more, I'd call it classic, and peach mango. And so that one is rolling out. I believe it's actually already at XN Subs. So XN Subs is a pretty solid retailer, and one of the reasons why I actually like them is that they ship cans individually. I don't really enjoy buying energy drinks in cases of 12 or 24 and having all one flavor, especially if it's a new flavor. Even my favorite energy drink, Monster Ultra, has a few tastes that I'm just not a fan of. When you can get things individually in cans, you can obviously get them just to sample them. You don't necessarily need to invest in a whole case. So XN Subs allows you to do that per single can, and more importantly, they discount, I think it's 20% when you buy 12, so you don't necessarily need to get all 12 of one flavor, and to save at that case price, you might choose to get 3 of the new peach mango and then maybe 9 of the other flavors, just to give you a good deal and sample something you haven't tried before. So yeah, check that out on the side. But as I said, there's quite a bit of action going on in the energy drink space. Alongside that, it was announced that Gorilla Mind has finally launched its 7th flavor in 7 months. This flavor is indeed Tropic Storm. It's another Vitamin Shop exclusive, so very similar to Sour Watermelon Candy and Lucky Lemon, I think is the other one. You can only get this one from Vitamin Shop. They did promise that they would launch a new flavor every month following the launch, and while they haven't done it spot on, like launch on the 15th, 15th, 15th every month, they have indeed delivered us 7 new flavors in 7 months, which is a spectacular achievement in combination with everything else Gorilla Mind's done with their, I think it was over 10 entirely new products, close to 7 to 10 reformulations, over 20 new flavors. It's been ridiculous, and this is on top of the flavor extensions that we've been keeping up with the Gorilla Mind energy drink. So yeah, you can head to Vitamin Shop right now and pick up the Tropic Storm flavor of the Gorilla Mind energy drink. Still stands as the most effective energy drink I've had. Obviously I'm counting pre-mixed cans, so if you're talking about a powder supplement you throw in, shake up, that's not really what I'm sort of talking about here. Very highly effective energy and focus formula, and yeah, you can get it at Vitamin Shop. And obviously if you head in store Vitamin Shop as a retailer, and they do sell their Gorilla Mind energy drink individually, much like XN Subs. You can't order it directly online in single cans, but you can get them in stores in singles. And I think it was just this past weekend or the weekend before, they did the $1 Gorilla Mind energy drink deal. So you could go in and get a can for $1. Now I would love to see that come back, obviously. I didn't think they were actually ever going to do the $1 deal, just because of how, I guess, loaded the formula is in this one. But yeah, maybe they'll return and give you another chance to pick it up. But as I said, we have a bunch of energy drink stories, and the next one comes from Ghost Energy, specifically Ghost Energy. They have launched their energy drink, or they are launching the energy drink down under in Australia. Now, if you are at all familiar with rules, regulations, energy drinks in different countries, it is not the same everywhere you go. Let's just put it this way, Bang has 300 milligrams of caffeine in America, but that is not necessarily the case everywhere else in the world. I believe when they launched it in Europe, they had half, and Canada is different, so different places have different limitations. If I remember correctly, China was 100 milligrams of 100 milligrams of caffeine per can, and I had a Monster Ultra with 100 milligrams. It was a 12 ounce, maybe it was an 8 ounce. It was a smaller, I think it was a 12. So yeah, in most places you go, but this obviously proves drastically difficult for a company looking to expand into an international market. In that sense, if you were Ghost and you produced 1 million cans, you could only realistically sell them in the country where the formula is acceptable. And there's nothing wrong with the formula, don't get me wrong, it's just the rules and regulations to get into these places is different. And so Ghost has indeed created a version of the Ghost energy drink specifically for the Australia market. I'm gathering it's going to do New Zealand as well, but all I heard was Australia. And yeah, it is going to have 160 milligrams of caffeine, I'm not mistaken. Yes, 160. So instead of the 200 that you get in the US, it is down to 160. That I believe is the maximum for the 16 ounce or 500 ml can in Australia. But they have kept a few other things on board, so there is still a variety of vitamins, slightly different, but they're still there. And there's 100 milligrams of neurofactor for enhanced focus and cognition. Then the flavor side is also different. So there will be, there's no authentic collaborations. It is worth noting that they don't have a Sour Patch or Waterheads or anything like that. The flavor list consists of blue raspberry, so a non-Sour Patch blue raspberry, which they said is different from the one in the US, so this is sort of an exclusive, you could call it. Watermelon, green apple, orange cream, and citrus, which is a lemon, lime. And yes, so also the sugar and the nutrition side is also nice and low, keeping with the consistency or the approach in the US. So very much the same energy drink you get, or at least the same purpose, with a complex formula for energy and focus, not just energy. Nice low nutrition, great flavors, great branding, but conformed to the rules and regulations of Australia. And yeah, I believe it's rolling out there shortly, if not now. All I know is it's coming. And so if you're down there, definitely check it out. And fans that huge collectors, and I know there are a lot of energy drink collectors out there, those of you who want to collect every single can, Australia has an exclusive blue raspberry that you won't be seeing anywhere else. At least that's what I've heard. So next up, that does it for the energy drink side of things. We're going to go over to Soul Performance Nutrition. Now, I personally like to stack brands. Like I said, I like to buy everything from a single brand. It makes stacking easier. Whether your goals is maintenance, muscle building, recovery, sleep, weight loss, whatever it is, I like to kind of buy everything within a stack from within brand, as it makes it simple, and you know that you're not going to get anything that's too much of a crossover. And by that I mean, if you were to buy a muscle builder from brand A, muscle builder from brand B, and muscle builder from brand C, let's say there is some crossover. If you bought them all from the same brand, you wouldn't get any crossover, which gives you more value from the ingredient variety if everything across the board is equal. So instead of getting ingredients that crossed over but were still okay, you might be able to spend more within a brand to get a different ingredient and further support your goals. Now, Soul Performance Nutrition is just one of those brands that is incredibly specialized, incredibly well put together, and they are very, I guess meticulous might be the word I'm looking for. They don't go after any mainstream categories. They don't really go after anything too, I guess, trending. They seem to be going, I think the guy who runs it, has basically said he designs things for himself where he feels he needs support or could do something. He designs them for him, for his use. And I think it's a fantastic strategy because it allows them to stand out. And if you've ever seen the brand or checked out what they do, these guys they're not playing around. They put together some solid supplements, and they have 6 at the moment. Their first one was hydration. They've done superfoods, sleep. They did a very unique pre-workout. And so last week we got details on a product called Nova Immune Renewal. Now it promotes cellular health benefits as well as what seems to be like an anti-aging approach, which is a very popular category and very fitting for this brand. Like I said, they hit specialized markets more than your typical amino, weight loss, and so on. And now to follow up on that, they also revealed a product today, which we posted about today. I record this Monday, goes up Tuesday, and that product does not have a name. So we don't know the name of this, but it is underlined with the tagline, cell signaling peptides. Now, as soon as I saw that reference, I did indeed look it up. It is, as I suspected, it is a signature reference or term that the team at PeptiStrong uses in promotion of their ingredient. Now, PeptiStrong is the famously AI-discovered muscle building peptide, which has been basically used in very few products, but has a lot of different benefits to help with recovery, muscle building, strength, performance. And I kind of like ingredients like this because let's just say you were to get something, much like I was saying about stacking, you buy, I don't know, a muscle building supplement has creatine to help with strength, you get some other ingredient that can also help with strength by way of another mechanism. It's not that they don't really combine in a sense of 100%, but they will add up and they will help you further your goals. And so PeptiStrong is incredibly good at that. It is unlike anything else out there, and it helps with a lot of different areas. It was first used in Glaxon, that I recall. It might have been someone else before then. And Serious Nutrition Solutions, great guys over there, they put it into it's called Peptiplex, which makes it sound like a standalone supplement, but it is far from that. I'm actually running that one right now. But yeah, so this other mystery supplement from Soul Performance Nutrition appears to include Peptide Strong, based in purely on the benefits and that tagline of cell signaling peptides. So you can check that out on the site, as well as the Nova Immune Reveal. We'll have more details we'll put more details as soon as we get them, but for now, that is what we've got for them. Definitely check it out. Like I said, if you haven't heard or even had the time to, I guess, research and check out Soul Performance Nutrition, it's definitely a brand worth doing so. They put a lot of effort into their formulas. They're very specialized. They have supplements that, you know, you're not your typical sports nutrition stack. So it's a nice way to fill gaps of areas that you might not necessarily get in other brands. Moving on, we're going to go over to the team at Apollon Nutrition. So they announced, they launched, lately they've been revealing Monday, launching Friday. They announced a supplement called Night Night Fatty. Now this one is quite an interesting product because it's not entirely new. It's more of a hybrid, kind of what we've seen with Time Carb Double Impact, where Apollon combines benefits of two of its already available supplements into the one. And like I said, we've seen it do a few times, and so Night Night Fatty is very much a combination of its stimulant fat burner Chaos and its sleep aid, which I still consider one of the best sleep products out there in From Dusk Till Dawn. Now, the interesting thing is, obviously, if it's sleep aid, it's not going to have the stimulants from Chaos, and it doesn't. Basically, every ingredient you get in From Dusk Till Dawn is in Night Night Fatty. The only difference is there are a couple of tweaks in ingredients, including, dosages, including Zalaria has been bumped all the way up to 1.5, which is the highest dose I've seen so far. And then they've combined that with a couple of weight loss components that you will find in Chaos. Now it's more or less just like a pinch of Chaos and all of From Dusk Till Dawn. So you don't get the laundry list of thermogenic and high energy and focus components of Chaos. You basically get its stimulant-free or non-stimulant style ingredients that help burn fat. That includes InnoSlim and then MitoBurn combined with, so it's basically MitoBurn and InnoSlim combined with From Dusk Till Dawn at that heightened Zalaria dose. So pretty solid, very interesting supplement. I said not really completely new, but a nice twist on From Dusk Till Dawn, and a great way that if you were to be buying your weight loss supplements from Apollon, whether you're getting Chaos or what's the Stimulant 3 Molotov, you could now easily throw this in there to get even more weight loss support by way of MitoBurn and InnoSlim, but you could stack it with the other ones pretty seamlessly rather than just buying From Dusk Till Dawn for better sleep recovery and performance. So check that one out on the site. It should be available now. I believe it was, revealed Monday, launched Friday. And so next up we're going to shoot over to PEScience, who we don't see all that often, and as I was saying, this is PES is actually one of the brands that I like to stack quite a bit, just because of the versatility of the line and the diversity and the range, and they have incredible international availability. And they've announced a product called Introse. Now this is not a supremely complex intra-workout from what I know so far. I have not seen the complete facts panel. All we had to share at the time was that it is a blend of electrolytes and cluster dextrin. Cluster dextrin is obviously the branded high quality Harley Branch cyclic dextrin, and that was all we know. So it's relatively straightforward for now. That's not to say that there are actually other things in the mix, EAAs, maybe a few pump components, but that was what we know about it so far. I believe it said 15 grams of cluster dextrin, and PES again is a very reliable, respectable brand, so they didn't specify the electrolytes, but I feel like it's pretty safe to say they're going to put a good amount in there. Now that supplement should be on their site shortly, and we'll have another post going up once I can actually confirm the full formula, because when we shared it, it was on their site, but it wasn't available for purchase just yet. Now the last story is the last story. We've got two stories to close out. The second one, this one's going to be pretty quickly. We did announce the the Newcomer of the Year nominees. These are it is Brand of the Year, award season as some like to say. We've got the Brand of the Year awards and the Protein Wars running at the same time. We used to run the Brand of the Year awards Nominees November, then kind of announce the winners in December. Now we do it sort of announcing November, December, and then announce the winners December to January, just to make sure that overall brand of the year can kind of bring in everything. We get to take into account everything they've done in the year. We're doing that for the last few years, but yes, so over the past couple of weeks we've been announcing the nominees for the different categories. We had Functional Brand of the Year, International Brand of the Year nominees. The energy drink one is, the winner is going to be announced, I believe, next week. Brand of the Year nominees are announced this week. If I remember correctly, there are 3 or 4 of them. We have not finalized. I typically brainstorm, and then when it comes to announcing, that's when I kind of finalize it. And yeah, so last week we had the Newcomer of the Year awards, and the nominees were Best Farm, Fresh Subs, and Zombie Labs. Best Farm obviously is Eddie Hall's brand out of the UK. It's come on very strong, and it has been pretty solid, adding new supplements and kind of building things since its launch in the middle of the year. Zombie Labs has been a ridiculous powerhouse. They launched, I think it was late last year, which we do include specifically for Newcomer. And they've been adding products since. Don't forget, they did a protein powder, which was a little more than just a traditional protein powder. And they didn't just launch it with a nice complex twist. They also dropped it, I think it was in 8 flavors. Might even be more. I know it was a lot, because I had samples of them all. And Fresh Subs, obviously, run by the man himself, Greg Helton, who's got ridiculous industry experience working with Muscle Sport and Rise over the years, and has gone out on his own and is having great success with his brand. And yeah, to be honest, over the past years, the newcomers have been pretty thick. This week, I would say this year, not so much, but I would say the quality of these newcomers has become, obviously, much stronger since the, I guess, the lesser amount of them. So the last two we have is the one you see on the screen as always, and it is Iron Addicts Subs. Now this is an interesting story, and if you ever talk to me outside of the podcast or anything, I tend to bring up lots of stories, lots of brands, because it's always worth knowing where these things come from. And Iron Addicts Supplements is CT Fletcher's brand. Now this brand goes back a tremendous amount of time. Redcon 1, Aaron Sigmund, teamed up with CT Fletcher to make his own line. I don't even know how, it was a long time ago, back in the era of DMHA pre-workouts. And CT Fletcher's pre-workout was a goddamn beast. That thing would light you up, and it was just powerful. And obviously the DMHA era came and went. Brand stopped using it. And CT Fletcher's I don't really entirely remember what happened. I know they kept changing and developing supplements, but it kind of went away. Then it resurfaced, I believe, with CT Fletcher himself coming out with a new series. They continued a lot of the names from the original supplements, and the formulas were different, but it was almost like a relaunch, a new page of the book, whatever, new chapter. Now that happened a few years ago as well. Now, after almost, I don't know, a few years of silence, Iron Addicts Supplements has resurfaced. More importantly, they launched a new supplement called Sidewalk Kraka. Now this is indeed the name that they used for their pre-workout back when it was done with Aaron Singerman. This was the name of the pre-workout back when they did this little relaunch in between those two stages. Now the interesting part is that Iron Addicts says that it is the original hard-hitting Sidewalk Kraka formula. I don't know what that means, and we wrote about this on the site. They haven't put the facts panel on the website, but they said this is the original formula. The formula from the original is in this. But obviously, as I said, Sidewalk Kraka was around in the DMHA era, so you're not going to get DMHA products on the market these days. That's not to say that's not what they've done. I don't really know what they've done. They might have done that, they might not have done that. We just can't confirm because they haven't put the facts panel on their website. But Iron Addicts is saying this is the original formula, and that statement I don't think can be taken any other way other than what they've said. If they were saying this was the last formula or the, I don't know, a new formula, new and improved, but they are specifically saying like the very potent and powerhouse original. So it's on the site right now. I don't know too much about what's in it. I did notice that you can see some of the ingredients, well, the list, some of the facts panel on some of the images, and the ingredients, the amount of ingredients in this version is the same amount of ingredients that was in the actual original. Again, I don't know what any of the ingredients are, what the dosages are, but you can now get this straight from the Iron Addicts Subs website at $49.99. They have no other supplements on there at the moment. It is indeed just Sidewalk Kraka. They might expand and bring back some others. Funny story to end the podcast on, I know, but I thought it was a nice little story, especially if you've been following and you actually got to try the original Sidewalk Kraka when it was done with CT Fletcher and Aaron Singerman back in the day. It would be cool to see this kind of follow the story through, and now we've got, obviously you had the chapter in between, and now it almost seems like a resurgence, but again, it is only one supplement, so I don't know if this is just a one-off. I don't know if this is the beginning of CT Fletcher's new brand, just kind of reigniting and bringing back more than just Sidewalk Kraka. But for now, that is all there is. You can head onto the site, check out Sidewalk Kraka in what little more detail we have, as well as go to the Iron Addicts website to pick it up, or at least even look at what little information there's there as well. But as always, head to stack.com, stack3d.com to check out every story that I've mentioned here, as well as the numerous amounts of other products and developments and updates and news stories we share on the site day to day. All we ask the support is just to visit the site as many times as possible, once, twice, 3, 50, if you can, per day. Share it with your mom, your dad, your friends, your family. I appreciate you tuning in and look forward to having you back next time.